Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This time I'm going to share to you algorithms. So my name is Dr. Haji Tehuko. I have compiled a series of problems and then I'm going to show to you how it works or how are we going to solve the problems here. Okay? Now for the meantime, since I'm still building up the video, I have here two problems in which I'm going to first solve the first one, which is the FizzBuzz problem. Okay, so next is soon we're going to have more than, let's say, a number of problems here. And then if you like to follow along, I have this link which I'm going to post in our description box. This is where I'm going to have this Google slide so that you can follow along. Okay, so let's try to solve it. We're going to use REPL as our IDE here later. So let's click here the problem. So the first one is, what is the FizzBuzz problem? So the FizzBuzz problem allows us to print the keywords or the keys or words fizz, buzz, and FizzBuzz, provided that we have meet the condition. Okay, so write a program that prints the number from 1 to n. So we're going to print values from 1 to n, but instead of just numbers from 1 to n, there is a condition here. But for those multiples of 3, print out fizz instead of the number. And for the multiples of 5, we're going to print out buzz here. And numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5, we're going to print here the word FizzBuzz. Okay, so these are your condition. Multiples of 3, we print out fizz. Multiples of 5, we print out buzz. And then if it's both multiples of 3 and 5, we print here FizzBuzz. Okay, so at first instance, what we're going to do is that we're going to print here the numbers 1 to n. Okay, so we're going to create here a loop that displays numbers 1 to n. And then the final output is this one. We're going to substitute the values. Substituting the values means that we're going to have the numbers, instead of just printing the numbers here, we're going to substitute it with the text fizz, buzz, and FizzBuzz, provided that it meets the condition. So the condition again, if we go back to the previous slide here, if the number is a multiple of 3, we print here fizz, a multiple of 5, FizzBuzz, and a multiple of both 3 and 5 is FizzBuzz here. Okay, so that's how we're going to display the final output. So let me now shift to let's solve this one here. So not this one yet. Okay, but let's now go to our online IDE. You could use any other IDE, but right now I'm be using this IDE. The language that I'm going to use here is JavaScript. Okay, so let's try to write the codes. So first thing that we need to do is, let's create here a function. Okay, I'm going to create a function here, and then the function name will be FizzBuzz. Okay, so this is the function I'm going to use, and then the function requires one argument. So let's call this num, and then let's have open and close curly brace. Then for the purpose of demonstration, based on the given output that we had earlier, let's kind of display first the values from 1 to 20. So that's 1 to n. So to do that, okay, let's have here our loop. So for, okay, so variable I is equals to 1. Let's start with 1. I is less than or equal to num, which is our parameter, and then I plus plus. Okay, after that, let's display the output. Okay, so we're going to use here a function called console.log. Okay, and then we're going to print here the variable I and semicolon. Okay, so again, the purpose of this code here is for us to the purpose of the code here is for us to display the numbers 1 to n. So after that, let's create now a function. Let's call the function, by the way. So we call this FizzBuzz, and then let's pass in a parameter, let's say 20. Okay, then after that, let's click here run. So this is the output. Okay, now the next step to do is for us to substitute the numbers. So if the numbers that we have here, okay, if the numbers that we have here, sorry for that, if the numbers that we have here is a multiple of 3, we print here Fizz. If it's a multiple of 5, we print here Buzz. And if it's a multiple of both 3 and 5, we're going to print here FizzBuzz. Okay, so to do that, let's update this one here. So this one here allows us to print here. Okay, so the first condition that we're going to have is, okay, let's put it down. Okay, so the first condition that we're going to have is to test whether the numbers that are a multiple of 3, okay, for us to print here the keyword Fizz. To do that, we're going to use here a condition. So if open parenthesis I mod 3 is equals to 0, okay, what we're going to do here is console.log, we print out dot keyword Fizz. Okay, so that is our first condition. The second condition that we're going to have is else if, okay, then I mod 5, okay, let's have some space here, it's not a requirement, but let's have some space. Mod 5 is exactly equal to 0, and then we're going to print out console.log. This time we're going to have here Buzz. Okay, then after that, else, let's test this one first. Else, okay, this one. Okay, so based on our condition, if it's a multiple of 3, we print out Fizz. It's a multiple of 5, we print out Buzz, and then we display the value. So currently this is the output earlier. So if we click here run, okay, so we have it here. Okay, Fizz, Buzz, Fizz. Okay, do we have the same output? If we go here, Fizz, Buzz, Fizz, Fizz, Buzz, Fizz. Okay, now here, if you notice, online FizzBuzz. Okay, so we need to check the condition FizzBuzz. Now if you notice, we miss here this one here. This is number 15, but number 15 here is both divisible by or a multiple of 3 and 5. So we print out Fizz here because this condition was satisfied. So we need to somehow make some modification. So what is the modification? So what if the number now is both divisible or a multiple of 3 and 5, in which case 15 here is a multiple of 3 and 5. Okay, to do that, we need to somehow update, our condition here. So we now check if the number, so to do that, if, okay, so we have this condition, if I, okay, mod 15, okay, 0, we all know that this one here is a multiple of 3 and 5. So we're going to print out console.log, and then this time we're going to have here Fizz Buzz there. Okay, and then after that, let's continue our condition. So else if, this one here, else if, okay, else if I is a multiple of 3, we print here Fizz. Then we're going to have here else if I is a multiple of 5, we print out bus, otherwise, and then we print out the numbers. Okay, so this is correct already, but the problem is the number 15. Okay, so we just need to have the keyword here. If we go back to our slide here, it's supposed to be FizzBuzz, but right now Fizz was displayed. Actually, it's correct, but we need to satisfy our condition, which is what if the number is a multiple of 3 and 5? It should supposed to be FizzBuzz. Okay, so let's try again our code. Run. There. Okay, so you have the numbers printed from 1 to 20. Okay, we have here 1 to 20, this one here, and then we're going to have the output Fizz if it's a multiple of 3, Buzz if it's a multiple of 5, and FizzBuzz if it's a multiple of 3 and then 5. So we have here FizzBuzz, which is a multiple of 3 and then 5. Okay, so here's the code for our first algorithm, which is the FizzBuzz problem. Okay, so I hope you like the program. Thank you for watching.